When it comes to the master grade line of Gundam Age kits, it really started off with a bang. We had the absolutely phenomenal Gundam AGE-1 Normal, and then we had a pair of the variants, which was the Gundam AGE-1 Spallo and the Titus. After that then, the line kept on going. We got the absolutely awesome Gundam AGE-2 Normal, followed by the Gundam AGE-2 Double Bullet. However, that is where it stopped. Bandai did announce some prototypes of the master grade AGE-FX, AGE-3, and one of the Vegan suits if I'm not mistaken. Well, whatever did actually kill the line, there's a little bit of a ray of hope right now with this right here. It is a premium Bandai variant of the AGE-1, but it's one hell of a variant. If you want one of your own, I'll throw a link down there in the description, and this video would not have been possible without a sponsor. Once again, this video right here was sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. And you might be asking yourself, what is Raid? Because I've never heard of that before. Reconceptualization. You see Raid ad after Raid ad after Raid ad, you might be like, yeah, I've seen enough of that. But behind all of the fluff and ad campaigns, there is a solid, fun game in behind it all. Give it a chance. Anti-establishmentarianism. The lands of Tilaria are ruled by a multitude of different bosses. Tyrannical rulers, dragons, monsters, you name it. Get out there, put them to the sword. Interdependence. And you're not going to do that without a good team. Every hero in Raid is different in different ways, and they all have to rely on each other. Without the right team, you're not going anywhere. Deathlessness. With the right squad, at the right level, with the right gear, you're never gonna die. Well, eventually you probably will. But that is not all. Raid's 4th anniversary is finally here, and there's a ton to be excited about. Dedicated offers, free gifts, promo codes, events, and a brand new fusion event, including the ability to get your hands on anniversary-themed legendary champions. Use the promo code 4YearsRaid to get 4 skill tomes legendary, 4 energy refills, 400 energy, 400k silver, and you'll also be able to take a trip down memory lane with a recap video of your stats in Raid. Amazon Prime members who just got Gembo, keep an eye out for the next drop with some powerful, savage gear. Available from March 2nd to March 30th. New players, use my link or scan the QR code right here and get a free starter pack with this cool in-game loot. So yeah, this right here is the Master Grade Gundam AGE-1 Full Glansa. Now there's a lot going on inside of this box. When I actually grabbed this off of BUYEE, I didn't exactly know what I was going to get. I built the high grade AGE-1 Glansa before, but this kit is a little bit of an age event. So first off, I will mention that there is 2 variants of this available, which is the usual case with an add-on for a master grade kit when it comes to premium Bandai. So you can just buy the full Glansa parts themselves separately and throw them on your standard AGE-1 that you have lying around or you're gonna build. The other option is this one right here, which is the full package, which is a little different to the standard variant of the Gundam AGE-1. So I might as well start off the aesthetics with the core unit itself. So jumping into the aesthetics of the core unit itself, now there's a few differences here for a multitude of reasons. First off, this isn't the AGE-1 Normal right here, this is the AGE-1 Flat. What makes this the AGE-1 Flat is the fact that it is missing the age system in its chest. Because of that, we've just got a flat white segment in there, making this the AGE-1 Flat. On top of that, the eyes are no longer green, nor are the head cameras, so the stickers in here reflect that and are in an orange color. Now I will mention, if you don't like that empty chest, there is one kind of cool thing in here. The clear parts are included, but this time around they are in orange. So if you wanted to use an orange part inside of the chest, including that awesome reflective backing, you can do that. The next difference in here is the V-fin. This does not have the standard AGE-1 V-fin. This almost has one that's slightly angled when it comes to the forehead segment, giving it a more angry, threatening kind of stare, which is pretty cool, and it does mean we do have a spare V-fin in here if you do break something. Now the next difference with this kit right here is due to the fact that this is the big combined box of the Age as well as the full Glansa parts. So this is also referred as the designer color version. So this is in a different color than the standard AGE-1 Normal if you bought it separately. Sadly, I do not have mine right now because I'm renovating my office, so everything's in storage, but this is in a different color scheme. The blue on this is a little bit more purple, the reds on this are more subdued, and the whole kind of color scheme on this looks a little bit more mature than the toyish standard colors of the AGE-1. Now there is another aspect about this particular kit, or the build of this kit, that shocked me that I did not expect. That is the fact that Bandai, for one reason or another, has replaced a whole bunch of the joints on this kit. That being the knees, both the upper and lower connection for connecting into the upper legs, and the lower legs have been changed, as well as the waist joint. They've all been changed for a new style, and if I'm not mistaken, apparently the inner frame on this is no longer in ABS and is in a normal polystyrene, but don't quote me on that one. Lastly then, we do have a different grey segment for in the back of this awesome AGE spoiler, and it just has some larger ports in the back right there for the thruster bits or whatever, and this is for attaching on the included Gastron launcher, which we'll talk about a bit later. But besides that, this is absolutely identical, so all the awesome things we would have seen with the standard AGE-1 normal are all here, including that awesome venting all over the surface of the armor, and the overall fantastic level 5 design of this absolutely killer mobile suit. So yeah, in total, same absolutely fantastic Master Grade AGE-1 we would have seen before, with updated joints and a more mature subdued color scheme. It's pretty damn cool, honestly. So now jumping into the accessories for what comes inside of this absolutely outfitted box. Once again, this is the Master Grade AGE-1 full Glansa in the designer colors. So essentially in here we get 2 sets of accessories which result in 4 different combinations. I will also mention that the Dodds rifle and the shield are also included on the runners here as well, but I just did not have the time to build them, but they are in there if you want them to. On top of that, we do have an absolutely phenomenally beautiful set of water slide decals and a full action base, which is always a very welcome addition. But yeah, like I mentioned, we've got 2 sets of accessories which give us 4 combinations. The first one we would have seen already, which is the standard AGE-1 flat. We've the option of the AGE-1 with the Zeffled Launcher, the option of the Gundam AGE-1 Glansa, and then a combination of everything being the Gundam AGE-1 full Glansa. So let's take a look at everything one by one. So the first accessory we're going to be taking a look at in here is the Zeffled Launcher, which is absolutely stunning looking. So what we've essentially got here is, well, it's the AGE answer to the Striker pack, predominantly in that nice subdued red, and we've got an absolutely massive pair of large launchers. Now these things are absolutely massive and a little bit on the unwieldy side. Now I will mention, I'm just going to pop these off for the look because this looks so cool with just a small backpack like this right here. Once again, kind of like a small flight pack or striker pack. These big old cannons are held on by a pair of ball joints. On top of the ball joints, we also have this rotating segment right here, so there's a lot of movement to the launchers. The cannons attach on relatively simple, pop them onto the ball, they hold on really well. Sometimes they can be a little bit on the loose side, but you just have to make sure they're pushed in all the way. Now when it comes to attaching this kit onto the included action base, this is done very well. You do have the choice of doing it the old school way, which is the crotch base adapter, but we also have one that slots into the lower section of the Zeffled Launcher backpack. This slots in perfectly between the Gundam unit itself and the backpack unit, so you never really see it, and it does support everything perfectly and is rock solid. When the launchers are attached on, these can move forward super smoothly on a pair of hinges in the balls. We've got an absolutely killer opening gimmick when it comes to the ends of these things. All it takes is one push on the sides just like so, and the whole thing pops open. Pull it back and they snap close again. These are done so well. Inside of that then we've got the absolutely massive missile. There's only 2 included because this thing only has 2 shots. It can also be removed. The thing is fully molded and can pop back in and close up. This thing is absolutely super awesomely designed. I'm impressed. Very impressed. Anyway, that is pretty much everything about this Zeffled Launcher right there. So there's the full 360 spin, so you can take in all of this awesomeness. This is one of those kits that Bandai's making that I know what they're doing. There's pretty much 4 options in here, and they know some collectors will just be dying to buy 4 of these. Just because, well, personally, I love this thing as the AGE-1 with just this backpack. Honestly, kinda need 4. So next up, we're going to be taking a look at the AGE-1 Glansa. So what we've got in here is a whole bunch of armor for snapping onto the AGE-1. This is very similar to something we would have seen like the armor for attaching onto the Master Grade Dual Gundam. It all attaches on super simply, super nicely, and it is rock solid. The vast majority of this has some very nice bulk. It's made up mainly of a lot of purple large parts and some grey bits as well. Some of the, well, any underside that you'd actually see on this, Bandai has made sure to give it a little bit of a secondary piece underneath, a grey piece to make sure it looks bulky and actually armoured. This is some heavy duty armour and it just looks so good and clips on 100% perfectly. No dropping parts like the Dual Gundam. So overall, once this is attached, it's nice and thick, adds some great bulk to the kit, but I will mention it does look a little bit on the flat side. It's really just a sea of purple. Now, I will mention there is a lot of decals included in here for on top of that armor, especially in white, which will definitely break it up so nicely. Again, this is just a straight built kit. Again, because time isn't something, I'm totally renovating a room on my own, and it's taken me absolutely forever. But yeah, get some dark panel lines on this and the decals, and it will look so good. As for the weapons that we have for the Glansa right here, these are a pair of shield rifles which attach onto both arms. Because the AGE-1 has fully rotating forearms, that means you can get these into whatever pose that you want. The beam effects that come included in here, which are the standard master grade AGE-1 beam effects, can pop into the ends as well because these are both long-range shooting weapons and close-range beam-emitting melee weapons. So yeah, once again, there's the full 360 spin of what the AGE-1 Glansa looks like. Again, like I mentioned, it can look a little plain, straight built. Give this an extra little bit of love and it will look absolutely phenomenal. All the bulk is there, it just needs that little more. So finally it is AGE-1 full Glansa time. So what we do here is we grab the AGE-1 flat, pop on the Glansa armor, pop on the Zeffled Launcher, and you just need to change it a little bit. So what we need to do here is just pull off the ends of the Zeffled Launcher, remove the parts that had the actual missile launchers on them, and then you add on these new parts to convert the Zeffled Launchers to the Glastron Launchers, basically bringing some AGE-3 firepower into the equation. So pretty much everything we see here is what it was like when it was the Zeffled Launchers. It just looks a little bit different, a little bit more AGE-3. They can swing forward, move around on those ball joints, do everything we would have seen before. We also do have a nice opening gimmick once again, not quite as nice as what we saw before. It's a little bit more subtle, but it's the same kind of shtick. You push it forward just like so, and the business end gets ready, well, to get busy. Same happens again if you pull back on this, it will close them up, so it is a nice old school kind of gimmick that kind of clicks into place and clicks back. You don't see stuff like that anymore. Definitely not as flush. So yeah, that right there is it for the review, and what can I say? Bandai is taking a kit that I absolutely love, which is the Master Grade AGE-1 that has aged so well, and thrown a whole bunch of awesomeness on top of it. Now, I don't know what I ranked the AGE-1 before, but it was probably something high like gold tier or higher. This has just made it even better, so this to me is a classic platinum kit. It does everything absolutely perfectly, and I love it to absolute bits. This full set right here is totally worth it, but I know it is a little bit hard to find. I will throw a link to BUYEE down there in the description. That is where I got mine. This video right here would not have been possible without those awesome people over at Raid Shadow Legends, so thanks to them for sponsoring the video. And of course, thanks to you for watching this. I will get back to more regular content as soon as I get this room done and dusted. But until then, I'll see you next time.